it's similar to an AP wherein we got payable options, financial options. In AR, we have got system options. In cash management, we got a system option. Similarly, in fixed assets, we got something called system controls. So the navigation is setup, asset systems, systems control. Setup, asset system, system controls. Okay. So as far as the fixed assets is concerned, this particular system controls is installation specific. So that means throughout the installation, you can have only one system control. So this is a testing environment, and in the testing environment, already vision operations is set. You are able to see the enterprise name as Vision Enterprises, but in a real world, and other things are already set here. I cannot change these details. So in a real world, it will be your company name, the client where you are implementing your Oracle. Okay. And oldest date placed in service, just try to select it as 1st January 1951 or whatever it is. So that is the date beyond which you cannot add any asset. So there is a scenario where like today also you can add an asset with a date placed in service is nothing but that start date of use of that particular asset. You can even create an asset today in the system by putting a date placed in service as 1st of January 2015 or 1st of January 2001 or whatever it is. So in this case, I mentioned oldest date placed in service 1st January 1950. That means I can create any asset in the system with a date placed in service up to 1st January 1850. I cannot create an asset with a date placed in service prior to 1st January 1850. Okay.
And Arvind, what is the connection between our ledger and this Vision Enterprise?
Okay, as I said that this system controls is installation specific. This is not specific to operating unit, or this is not specific to the ledger. Okay, here we are under fixed asset supervisor Reliance INR. Go to fixed asset supervisor Reliance USD. Fixed asset supervisor Reliance CAD. Asset vision operations, assets, fixed assets vision services, or you can go to any responsibility, you'll be able to see the same screen. The reason being, this is a one-time setup which is done in any of those one ledger. And the same thing you are able to see across all the ledgers. So in a real client environment, obviously you will not have the vision operations data. It's a fresh. Okay. Even in an organization, you can have multiple ledgers, but you can go to any of those particular responsibility and complete this particular setup. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So enterprise name will be in general your client name. So that's what I mentioned. System controls are at Oracle installation level, and hence we cannot change the below. But in a real world, you should be able to enter appropriate details.
Okay, just one more doubt. So then fixed assets cannot be used for multiple businesses, right? On the same instance.
Well, maybe I think if you go for multiple business groups, maybe we can try that. I never tried that. I always worked on a single business group. Maybe if you go for a multiple business groups, okay, then maybe this particular screen may allow you to create a different structure, multiple business groups. So that means in our current scenario, this is entire thing is under one business group. If there is some other business group, and under the particular business group, you've got different ledgers and legal operating unit. And then if you really want to go with that multiple business group, then here we need to assign one more. There is one more profile option of HR business group. Okay. So as of now, the HR business group is Vision Corporation, which is assigned directly at a site level. But if you have one more business group, then at a responsibility level, you can assign that HR business group. Then it will get you into a different business group, which has got different ledgers, and there you may have the different enterprise details there. Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, why I'm asking is for our existing client, we have one instance which is under our control. Okay, and we have one more. What do you call it as a branch or whatever it is, but we have it in US, which was actually acquired. So that entity is actually using a shared instance of a different business. Okay, so from that perspective, I'm asking. So in that case, because it is using a shared instance, it cannot use FA, right?
No, no, it all depends on in the example whatever you have given. It all depends on first of all whether the two organizations whatever you're talking about are under single installation of Oracle. That's the first question. Second thing is, are they under same business group or different business group? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go and check this particular system control. If they are under same business group,
Okay.
then ideally this system control screen should be same. If they are business different business group, then maybe this will allow to be these things you can change or you can have a different system controls for that.
Okay, so the business group should be different.
Yeah, so you check two things. First of all, are they under single installation of Oracle? So in the same organization also, I'll give an example. I work for GE client. Okay, we have got GE Oil and Gas in Australia, GE Oil and Gas US. Okay, both are the GE Oil and Gas. Both are under GE group, and within the GE, both are under oil and gas business. But GE Oil and Gas Australia is using Oracle 11i. GE Oil and Gas
Mm.
US is using Oracle R12. Both are under Oracle, but both are under different installations. One is
Right.
11 and other one is R12. I've seen one more client wherein, for some weird business reason, one business, I mean, both businesses are located in different countries. Again, it's the same kind of business, like shipping business. Okay,
Mm.
both are located in different countries, but both are under 11i, but both are under different Oracle 11i installations. So for a layman, it looks like, oh, both are using same Oracle, both are using 11i, but they are totally different 11 installations. And the reason, one of the reason why you can get into that kind of situation is especially acquiring. So
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
you are into shipping business, you are using 11i, and you have acquired some other company, they have got their own Oracle 11i. Okay, then you need to again take a decision whether you want to merge those two 11i's into one 11i Oracle version, or whether you want to continue it separately. It all depends on your business decisions. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I was talking about the G oil and gas instance only.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so
So
I mean,
one
I work
thing,
for
Arvind,
when, sorry.
no, you go ahead because I just want to ask, like this system controls is just common across if you have same business group and the same instance, Oracle
Yes.
instance, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
what you were saying.
Yeah.
So the point is, in order to map this to GL, right? Is that GL data access set profile option? Is that the only map
Yes.
between
Yes.
FA module to GL?
Yes. I mean,
Okay, okay,
I mean, there are two things. One is the profile option, and there is also when you are creating your corporate book in the corporate book definition. Also, you need to associate the ledger name. Two things.
okay, okay.
Okay. Okay. So, and there are as far as the fixed assets is concerned, there are key flexi fields, category flex field, asset category flex field, asset location flex field, and asset key flex field. I'll explain you the details of these three in a while. Okay. Let me complete the system controls. And automatic asset numbering. Generally, we go for the automatic asset numbering. And if you go for automatic asset numbering, what will be my first asset number? And as of now, this particular when this particular instance got started, the first asset number was 100,000, and now I think 169,573 is the running asset number. And as I said that this particular system control is kind of an installation level, you can have any number of FA ledgers. This particular asset number is running sequence. It's the same sequence across all the FA ledgers. So that means in one FA ledger you may have asset number of say 1001. Okay, and in the next FA ledger you may have the asset number of 1002, and again come back and create one more asset in first ledger. You may have asset number of 1003. So the asset numbering sequence is actually across all FA ledgers. It is not specific to specific FA ledger because this asset numbering option is at the system controls. Okay. Okay, so now we have three key flex fields: asset category, asset location, asset key. Okay, so what is asset category flex field? Let me first open up the key flexi field. So if you remember, we have got a key. Can anybody tell me what is the key flexi field in general ledger? We do not have any key flexi fields in AP, And what is the key flexibility in general ledger?
Accounting flex field.
Exactly. Accounting flexibility is the key flexibility in general ledger. Let me try to go there. Yes. Set up financials, flex fields, key segments. Set up financials, flex fields, key segments. So if you look at in the general ledger, we generally do not use this reporting attributes. So this is the main key flex field. Accounting flex field is the main key flex field. Similarly, in assets, we have asset category, asset location, and asset key flex field. So first we'll talk about the category flex field. So again, this asset category flex field, when you are trying to create any category flex fields here, first you need to query for this. So what you need to do is query for asset F11 category flex field, then put your cursor here and then start creating your flex field. Again, this particular key flex fields, if you remember, these are the three key flex fields we have assigned in the system controls: category flex field, vision category flex field, vision location flex field, and vision asset key flex field. Again, these particular key flex field, whatever we have associated at a system control level, these are again specific to instance or group level. I will not be able to create new record here. In the case of GL, we can create our own what do you call accounting flex field or the chart of account structure. But as far as this particular instance is concerned, or like a FA is concerned, you can have only one asset key, asset category, or asset key, or asset location flex field per installation based on your business group. So already again in this particular testing environment, there is one particular asset category flex field which is already created. So we should use this particular asset category flex field. So as far as this flex field is concerned, there is something called major segment and minor segment. Whenever you, if you remember in GL, whenever you enter a journal, you select something called your ledger name and something called journal category. That is a way of grouping of the journals. Similarly, in the fixed assets also, whenever you create a asset, you need to select the corresponding corporate book name, and you should also select something called asset category. That is the category under which you want to fall that particular asset to be. So you actually categorized assets under different, in general you categorize your journals under different journal categories which is used for your reporting purpose. Similarly, in your fixed asset, you need to categorize or you need to group your assets under a specific asset category, and then there are then you can do a reporting by asset category, and there are a couple of other things which are based out of your asset category, like your accounting is driven from your asset category, your depreciation method, depreciation rate, everything comes from your asset category. So whenever you purchase something and you add that particular asset in your fixed assets, you need to select the appropriate asset category. So as far as that asset category is concerned, we have got two segments: one is major segment and another one is minor segment. So I'll just give a simple example. What is your major category and minor category? Take an example. You got some assets related to your software, or a hardware, rather hardware. Okay, so what you do is your major category name will be computer. If it is really software related, you can have a minor category of software. If it is a hardware related, your major category will be computer and your minor category will be hardware. This is just an example. Okay, so this is an asset category. Take an example: you have purchased Oracle licenses. Okay, and Oracle license, you have purchased Oracle license which are valid for say next or like you for the next say 10 years, something like that, and you want to depreciate, you want to calculate depreciation on the your software, your Oracle licensing software. Okay, so you purchase that particular Oracle license, and so when you create your asset, you will be considering major category as computer, minor category as software. You purchased a hardware, you purchase a large server which can be used in your business, and the life of the asset is say 10 years. And when you are adding that particular asset, you select major category as computer, minor category as hardware. Okay, server is one example. A big say supercomputer is another example. Or you purchased a large what do you call, a big hardware rack which is used to keep all your what do you call, servers. Okay, so that is another example. So all those assets can be categorized under computer hardware, and all your software related things like Oracle licensing or your Microsoft license or something else, all those will be categorized under computer software. Similarly, you can have different major category and minor category for other furniture and fixtures also. Say furniture and fixtures, maybe you want to have only just one major and one minor category. If you want to break up that, you can have something else like say furniture, maybe furniture large fixtures, furniture small fixtures. Okay, or you can just have furniture and fixtures, something like that. Okay, so any questions on this major and minor category? Okay, so we have got two segments. One is the major. Yeah, I think somebody is trying to ask a question.
No, Arvind, please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, so one is the major category, other one is the minor category. So what you need to do is you need to create your own category, code, title, description. Okay, similar to your GL accounting flex field, you need to enable that. Okay, and if you want to use a kind of a cross validation rules on these segments also, you need to enable this. Otherwise, you can leave it blank. And once everything is done, you need to come to the screen and click on freeze flex field. Okay, first is enter these details. Click on segments. Okay, enter your major category name. If you want to have your own major category, you can call it as Reliance major category, but unfortunately in this case we cannot do that. So major category, and there is something called flex field qualifier. In the flex field qualifier, you need to say whether it's a major category and minor category. Can somebody say, tell me what are the flex field qualifiers for a GL accounting flex field? So in GL accounting flex field, we have got I think 6 segments like company, department, your account, intercompany segment, product, and other things. So what are those flexible qualifiers there?
Balance segment,
Costing.
cost center, natural account.
Intercompany segment. These are the main four. There are two other things, but these are the main four things. So similarly for the fixed assets also, for any of these segments, you can have any number of segments, but for each of these segment, there are two flex field qualifier. You need to associate only any one of them as a major category and only any one of them as the minor category. So in general, I have seen most of the clients going only for two segments, and some clients are going only for one segment. So in our current client, we have gone only with the one segment, that is a major segment. We do not even have any minor segment. Okay, so in our case, what we have done is for that particular first segment, we have assigned the flexible qualifier as the major segment, a major category. We do not have any minor category, and we did not assign any minor category. That is optional. So you need to associate the segment number, segment 1, segment 2, and you should also associate the value set. Value set is the placeholder where you hold the values for this particular category. So I'll show you what are the values which are available for us. Okay, vision FA major category is the value set which is associated with this. Okay, you go to the value set screen and create that particular value set. You can choose your appropriate values, your list of values, your whether you want to go for uppercase or lowercase and other stuff. Similarly, for the minor segment, you select the segment number 2 and associate that with the value set. And in the value set definition, first in the value set definition, you create this particular value set and come to this particular screen and assign that particular value set. If you observe, the important thing here is always your minor segment or minor category, if you are having a minor category, it should be a dependent validation type. The validation type should be dependent. So what is dependent? So this is independent value set, whereas this is dependent value set. So what is dependent value set? I'll show you the details in a while. Okay, but for the time being, understand that your minor segment should be dependent value set. And here the other normal things, like just make it as required, and all these details I'll explain in the BR100. Make it also required. Okay, now we'll go to this particular two value set and check the values. Okay, pick up this particular value set, segment values, value set, enter your value set name. So this is where you enter the value. So I mean, this is, as I said, like this is the same segment structure which is used across the instance. Like there are so many different corporate books and tax books which are created in this particular test environment. So many different people have created so many different values here. So this is the major category. So major category, you can have the different kind of assets. So these values is what we are seeing here, these values. And now coming back to the minor category is a dependent category. Okay, so for every major category you need to have the corresponding minor value. So that means in the data entry, when I select computer, okay, if you go to the minor category, vision FA minor category, okay, when I enter the minor category, automatically this particular field is enabled. When I say independent value, this is the value under which we are creating the child values or the dependent values. So when I, in the data entry, when I select computer, under computer I'll be able to see the related values: data processing, PC, server, software, and so on. If I pick up some other what do you call independent value, which is, say, example, if I select, say, aircraft, under aircraft I can see the corresponding dependent values. So these values are these things, minor category values. Okay, so if you make this particular minor category as dependent on the major category, then during a data entry you will see appropriate values. So when you select computer, then under the minor category you'll be able to see only the software or server or hardware or something like that. Okay, if you do not make this as what you call dependent, then what will happen is major category will be computer, and in the drop down you will be able to see even Airbus, Boeing, and other stuff. So if you make it as dependent, again in this example, if I select the major category as aircraft, your minor category values will be your Boeing 02, Boeing 10, Boeing 5, and so on. Okay, so did you understand the concept of the major and minor category and the dependency? Any other questions on this?
No.
Okay, so that's for the category. Okay, and next one is the asset location flex field. And what is the asset location flex field which is assigned in the system controls? Let me just go back to system controls. Okay, so we have seen this asset category. Next thing is asset location, vision operations location flex field. Again, this is the just only one location flex field which is assigned in the system, and we cannot create any new location flex fields. F11 assets, control F11. We are done with the category. Press down arrow. We'll come to asset key flex field in a while. Location flex field. Okay, one more thing in the asset category flex field is ensure that your allow dynamic inserts is not on. Generally, you select the allow dynamic inserts as on for the GL accounting flexi field, but for the assets is concerned, we should not check this allow dynamic insertion. The reason being, there is a very good reason for that. The reason being, as I said, that your depreciation calculation, your accounting, depreciation method, everything is driven from the asset category combination. So under this particular combination of computer software, I will be specifying my accounting details, my depreciation method, depreciation rate. Similarly, for this particular combination, I will do that. If I directly do that allow dynamic insertion, user can create any kind of combination. User can select, say, select a combination of, say, computer, Boeing. If I do allow dynamic insertion on, okay. So for obviously allow computer to Boeing is not a valid actually kind of a combination for us. And if user selects the system will allow you to perform the data entry, but when you actually get into your depreciation calculations or accounting, that's where you get into all kind of errors, because all those things are driven from the asset category. So that is the reason, ensure that dynamic insertion is off and create all the valid asset categories, and for those valid asset categories complete your depreciation method or accounting perspective, or the associating of the accounting and depreciation. I will show you one asset category in our training session. Okay, once you complete that, then user should be able to select only those asset categories which are available in the system or which are valid. Okay. Okay, as far as the location flexibility is concerned, click on segments. So this is basically whenever you are creating an asset, first thing is you are selecting your corporate book, asset category, and then you should also select something called asset location. Obviously, you want to know where exactly that particular asset is located. Okay, so again you can choose the combination of segments. So country, state, city, building. So when you're adding an asset, you need to add these particular values, or like you need to select the appropriate country, appropriate state, appropriate city, and appropriate building, so that when you do a reporting, you'll from based on your report, you can understand that, oh, this particular asset is located in so and so building of so and so country. Especially in a global company which is located in different countries, it is not easily possible to track the asset details, or it is not easily possible to track where exactly the asset is located if you do not use this asset location flexi field. So again, as far as the asset location is flexible is concerned, there is only one flexible qualifier, and again that is basically optional one. Okay, that is a statement. Sorry, not statement, state, and all other are. I mean, we do not have any other flex field qualifiers. So you can have country, state, city, building, ale, rack. You can even go up to that particular level. It all depends on how do you want to group your location. In a small organization which is located only in one country and only in one state, example, say take an example, there's say especially Reliance. Okay, it's located only in India. You may not even have the country what do you call segment. You can directly go for state, city, building, or take some other organization which is located in one country and only one state. Then you may not have this country and state. Okay, you can just straight away go for city, building, and then ale, rack. You can go up to that particular level. Okay, so in this example we have gone with country, state, city, building. So that is my structure, and for each of these things again we got value sets: vision, fa country, fa state, fa city, and fa building. Okay, and in vision, fa country, you actually specify the list of all the countries. Fa state, list of all the states. But in this particular testing environment, whatever I had observed is they have not made this particular value sets as a dependent value set. Ideally, your state should be a dependent value set. Your state should be dependent on country, and your city should be dependent on state, and your building should be dependent on city. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if you look at the value set, it is independent. It is not dependent value set. If you look at state, city, it is independent. So now what is happening is in this particular instance, okay, I can select the country as India, state as Texas, city as Dallas, building as something else. So that means even though country is India, system is allowing me to select the state as Texas and city as Dallas. Okay, and even though you select say country as US, state it is allowing me to select say Telangana and city as Hyderabad, because that is how this particular what you call value set is set up. But in a real world, we should be actually setting up these as the dependent value set. Okay. And again, you need to click on open. Yeah. Yeah, Subbu.
So I just have a query like the scenario, realistic example I'm talking about, like a example of any healthcare, that's a hospital, which they wanted to track the assets, department wise and floor wise. Okay, I'll just give you a scenario, or just explain me if you have any idea on that. One is that hospital scenario where they track assets on the which floor and which department, which which department up to maximum level they drill down.
Okay.
And second scenario, I have a scenario client as they're into maintenance projects. They do maintenance projects. What happened based on the project they do asset transfer?
Okay.
Let's take example any crane or something. Say they do a asset transfer from one location to other location. So when end of the year, when you do a calculation, depreciation calculation and everything, what happened is 6 months must be maybe that particular equipment has been used in particular place location, and other 6 months was used in other project. Let's consider. So they want to calculate that amount, split the cost between these two. Have you come up across any scenario ever like this? Just want to check. That's it.
Okay, so your first question is like, is it possible to track at a department and what is the other one you said?
Department, further drill down as much as possible.
Okay, okay. So one option for that would be you can even add a kind of a department segment here. That's one way. Okay. The other option would be you need not even have a department as a what you call location flexible. You can have the department in your chart of account segment. Department is already part of your chart of account. That is the other way. Okay. And the third way is we have something called asset key flexible also. If you get into the what do you call as I mentioned that there are three key flexibles. One is the location flexible, category flexible, and there is something called asset key flexible. So I have seen clients who using this asset key flexible for a tracking at a different level. Whatever you're talking about the project. So even for the project also you can use this asset key flexible. So when you are creating your assets, apart from selecting your asset category and asset location, you also select the asset key, even though it is an optional. Okay. In the asset key flexible values in the drop down, you can put your project values. That is one example. I have seen for one of our client which is not using project accounting module, they have used this asset key flex field for what do you call I mean in the asset key flexible they have actually mentioned all those their relevant projects, and when they are adding an asset they have selected the asset key flex field of the relevant project which is related to, I mean that asset related to that particular project. I mean if you are using project accounting, that's altogether a different story. In the project accounting you even have a project number, and the project number can be linked to an asset. That's a different story. But if you are not using a project accounting, one of the option would be to use the asset key flexible. Asset key flexible is actually giving us an extra opportunity to store your asset or at a different level. I mean like especially for your reporting purpose. In your example, you can use this for your department or for your projects. Does this answer your question, Subbu?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so country we have seen. For the state, again, like if you want, you can enable this. Ideally, it should be enabled. I mean, they have made it as optional, but ideally, it should be enabled. Similarly, city, it is required. Building, it is required. Okay, so that's with the location flex field. And now coming back to the asset key flex field, which I had mentioned, which is the third segment. So it's a different way of, so as far as in this testing environment is concerned, they have used only one segment, and there are no flexible qualifiers. This you can have any number of segments here. And again, when you are doing a data entry and when you are creating an asset along with the asset category, asset location, you should also select the asset key value, and under this particular vision FA asset key value set, you can store the corresponding values which are related to your business. It is just a kind of an optional way of recording your assets against a specific asset key so that it will be useful for your custom reporting or standard reporting. And if you click on open, so in this scenario it is optional. So if you want, you can enter, or if you want, you can just leave it as blank. Okay, so that's with regard to the asset key flexi field. We have done with the asset location, asset category. Okay,